Okay, so you know at the end of the last episode, I went off hunting for that voice that kept shouting at me from nowhere?
Really? It's alright. Where are you? I'm going to find you, and oh my god.
Yeah, that didn't go so well. After searching high and low for this goddamn voice, it's now resorted not just to criticising me when I talk about music on YouTube, but just about anything that I do. And I mean like anything.
You call that a book? That's not reading. Who the hell is this? This isn't YouTube. This is pathetic. And you call that washing dishes? Don't even get me started on how you're washing your dishes.
But I am determined to carry this on for you guys, even though I am quite clearly squished in this extremely small space and I'm not exactly sure where I am. Okay, so a lot of people would say that YouTube and the music industry probably don't get along. But what do the musicians that actually use YouTube think that the music industry thinks of YouTube?
People in the proper media music industry are starting to kind of realise how many people there are on YouTube who post their own music and how many YouTube musicians there are. And they've started to include YouTube in a lot of their things now. Like U Generation as such was Simon Cowell's X Factor for the internet, and he had a lot of music related categories in that. So I feel like they're all kind of trying to grab at anything they can with YouTube because they know that it's quite a big thing, and if they get in there, they'll get their people before anyone else does.
I think it has a love-hate relationship with it. I think they're earning a lot of money from it, so they're loving it in that regard. I think they hate the fact that it's given a platform to so many people that they don't have any control over, and I think that anyone who makes it on their own via YouTube, they're very scared of and don't want to touch. The record labels like to be in control, always have done. But before the internet, no one questioned them. The only way you discover music was whatever they gave to the radio stations, unless you happened to see a local band live, which, you know, if you had good local venues. The only way you would find out about new music is whatever was on the radio, and the radios will push stuff from the major labels, and they're not going to turn down the major label stuff because they want the exclusives. You know, they want the interviews with the big famous band. That's how radio's always worked. So to do that, they have to keep the major label sweets. Now, before the internet, no one could find music any other way other than live, as I've said. So once this internet thing came along, and suddenly anyone, and the cost of making music has come down because of how good home computers are these days. Now anyone can be a musician. Anyone can record a song, make a music video, and put it up. So that, and there's some people who are extremely good at that, who don't have a label, and they now have access to the world without the major label. So the major label has almost become defunct. They will tell you they're still really powerful, but they're only as powerful as we allow them to be. If we keep buying into their artists, then they're powerful. So I think they're scared of YouTube, and they're scared of giving anyone who's found fame on YouTube they're scared to go, yeah, come and join our family, because they want to be able to say we discovered them early on. It's the same as they always have done. So if a band ever got a big live following in the last 20 years before the internet, if a band was getting a big live following, what they would do is often ask the band to rebrand, and they'd start them from scratch, just so the major label could say, look what we found. We discovered this band at the very start. No, they haven't. They've been around for 5 years, building up a big strong fan base and performing, but now you're saying you found them with their first song and this, that and the other. And it's the same thing. They don't want to sign Emma Blackery, even though she charted with her single, because they didn't find her. She's done it on her own. And maybe it's because she's not good enough as well. Maybe actually her stuff compared to what the major labels are putting up, maybe they don't think it's good enough. But I don't think it is predominantly that, because they could give her all the stuff to make her as good as they want. But ultimately they're scared of her because she's so opinionated, and her audience isn't to her. They don't care about what the labels think. And I think that a lot of labels, I've seen musicians who have got big on YouTube who had meetings with the labels, and the labels don't want to know. It's them not putting the contracts in front of the big YouTube people, rather than the big YouTube people going, do you know what, I don't need you. The big YouTube people are all so fickle that actually they would sign the contracts even though they're doing perfectly fine on their own and don't need this. But because of the history of having a record deal is such a big deal, a lot of them would jump at the opportunity, even though they really don't need it. They'd be best off financially staying on their own and just keep growing their audience as they are, and putting stuff out and taking 100% of the royalties, apart from maybe paying management. So I think the record industry is scared of YouTube on the whole, but equally they love it because, you know, Taylor Swift's video got 500 million views in a day or whatever, and they must have made a packet on that.
With regards to finding talent on YouTube, there's a lot of it that I don't think they're really using that talent to its full potential. They're not going out and finding musicians on YouTube and signing them as much, apart from in famous cases like Justin Bieber or whatever.
Lots of people in the music industry are now seeing it as this very easy way to find new talent. So before, like, I think people are moving away from things like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, and if they want to find something to put out there and make money off, they will turn to YouTube. They'll go for what's popular, because also the problem with stuff like X Factor and Britain's Got Talent is that you don't know how people are going to respond to it at first. So these people have to go out and then they go and look and they see how they get reacted to and blah blah blah. Whereas with YouTube, you can go on a video and you can read the comments and you can see how many hits and how many subscribers, and it instantly gives you an idea of how popular they are. So I think it's a very valuable resource to the music industry in terms of finding talented people who are going to be popular very easily, because they're already putting their talent out there and they're already showing that they're popular.
I think with the Justin Bieber thing, you know, the Scooter Braun bringing Justin Bieber down to play a shoddy song on a crappy webcam. They definitely know its potential. They definitely view it as a thing that young people these days look towards. They see it as a good way of cutting out the middleman, but they are the middleman. I don't think they take it very seriously, though. If I were, chairman of EMI or Sony or whatever, I would be looking at the people who've already established an audience by themselves. If I were the chairman of EMI, I wouldn't have to worry about that as much as someone who is young and unsigned but hadn't had a hit in the charts. I don't think the music industry takes it very seriously, but I do think that's going to change in the future. I think they're going to take it more seriously in the future, and not as some sort of gimmick to appeal to these 14, 15, 16-year-old kids.
So with YouTube becoming bigger and bigger, the music industry has tried to adapt and tried to fit in with this new kid on the block, from its 9-year-old ukulele players all the way up to its professional musicians. But do these musicians believe that YouTube can benefit the music industry?
Well, YouTube benefits because because the major labels have to put their stuff on YouTube, and they'll pretend that they don't have to. They'll take it off when they want to try and earn more money out of YouTube. But they know it needs to be on there. So therefore you do get high budget videos going onto YouTube, and that's great because it sets a benchmark, which makes the smaller guys go, I've got to try and compete with that, which is great, because you'll be surprised how good people can be on a budget if they know what they're trying to achieve. So I think that's what it brings. It brings a sheen to the high end of YouTube, which gives us all something to strive to. But not in the sense of being signed to those record labels, but in terms of that's the artistic product that I would like to be able to produce on my own. How can I get there without the budgets that they have? And you do see a lot of people doing it, making incredible content and incredible music videos with just these cameras and a few light boxes and good ideas. And the interesting thing is that the industry is actually trying to recreate those kind of videos because they know they're the good ones. But yeah, it's just the sheen, just at the top. The sheen. That's what they provide. They provide the stuff that we know should be quality. But whether it is or not is another thing. But they give you a benchmark of where you're at.
I think because of YouTube, there's a lot of great content that is put out there, and I have my opinions about, let's say, popular music, and to know that some people who started on YouTube managed to go out there into pop culture, it's inspiring actually, because you know that they're making it and they're inspiring other people such as myself. So I think they're bringing something really, really positive to the musical industry.
If they pick out musicians from YouTube and make them in the music industry, they already have a fan base, so it's not as much work. And especially with like the Vamps, they don't need as much marketing because their audience is always just sharing and their previous YouTube audience. So they've pretty much just broken into the music industry pretty quickly, I'd say. They still advertise and stuff, but they're pretty much.
I think in terms of sort of music videos and stuff, it's been incredibly useful, especially as a way of like promoting things, because I know there's a lot of sort of unknown bands that are being signed, and then they'll have a music video kind of like posted up on Vivo or whatever, big like music video channels, which is like it's sort of like the MTV of the internet now. But then they're being linked in advertisements, and people are like, oh, that's a new band I haven't known about. But suddenly they'll become really big.
I think it's bringing a lot more kind of money into the music industry, because there's now this community of people that support each other. So someone will go, hey guys, I'm performing in London or whatever, and everyone will go, oh yeah, I'll get to see all my YouTube friends, and they'll pay to that venue, which then helps other artists, and it's kind of feeding into it. And even though it's not as refined and it is very saturated in some places, it just means a lot more people are getting into music. They find it a lot more accessible. A lot more networking is going on, because like your friend of friend will like know someone that works in a studio that can help you out, and so I think it is very positive, and I think it means you're not as restricted anymore. You don't just have to go to a record label. You can find a following on YouTube yourself, then go to a label and go, I've got all these people following me, you know, do you want in on this? You know, so I think it gives a lot more people an option that they might not have had before.
Yeah, YouTube definitely benefits the music industry. Every day there are people that want to become musicians and go on YouTube, because that's the starting point for musicians. I think the first thing they think of these days is to post something online, either via Facebook or YouTube. So if it's a starting point for musicians, then it's got a benefit for the music industry, because that's where they begin.
Now this is the thing with this part of the conversation. It is forever going to change. There is going to be no end to this continual back and forth. Yes, YouTube has made some interesting developments with the conversation, with its new product, YouTube Music Key, but that's a completely different service and works in a completely different way. And with the ongoing legal battle between fashion blogger and makeup guru Michelle Phan, and Ultra Records and its international publishing, there are two sides to every coin. On one side you have people being discovered in the platform, they're taking their skills to the next level of the music industry and becoming bigger and bigger. But also on the other hand, you have the music industry keeping a very, very close eye upon YouTube. If you upload a cover, if you upload a parody, or even if you're walking past a shop whilst doing your daily vlog and they so happen to be playing a certain song, you could fall under copyright infringement and get flagged. And that could lead you into some serious trouble. I think I'm safe. How do I get out of here?
Run away into the meadows. Escape from everything else in the world. They're the ones who have destroyed us. So now it's time for us to make a stand.